Hi, babes. Welcome back to the show. Today, we are going to talk about my trip to Switzerland. I know so many people have Switzerland on their bucket list, a place that they really want to travel. Maybe you're thinking that is never going to happen for me, but that's not Chase Life with Kelly podcast. My audience, you guys are so open-minded. And if you're not quite there yet, I'm here to expand you and get you into that space of healing and reprogramming your subconscious to shift the neural pathways so that you can expand and evolve and elevate at a higher level so that you can call in what you want and you can take the dream trips that you have been craving for so long. And Switzerland, oh my gosh, is one of those trips. I mean, this country is absolutely beautiful. It is just absolutely beautiful. Definitely the mountains. I would say like the countrysides versus like the city, like Zurich, Geneva, those are cities. And so you're going to get that city feel there. But the other towns that I'm going to talk about were just breathtaking and so just quaint, and everything was very clean, and I just loved it. So if you don't have Switzerland on your bucket list, go ahead and add it on there now. And if you do, here are my recommendations in all the places. So I will, if you're on my newsletter, you'll obviously get a list of all of these places in my newsletter as well. So you can go dine at the restaurants that we dined at. You can go on the excursions that we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves at, as well as go to all the mountains, the hikes that we did, and just the cities and towns that we explored. So first up, it was like technically a 10-day trip, but coming from the States and then going over there, you were kind of not losing a day, but we left on the 15th, I think. We left on the 14th, excuse me. We left on the 14th. We got there on the 15th, the morning of the 15th, and we pretty much hit the ground running. We flew into Zurich, and then we took the train immediately to a town called Lucerne. And Lucerne was super, super cute. I wish that we could have stayed there for a lot longer, just in general in Switzerland, so that we could have gone to so many different places. It's like, even in my own state, I'm like, I haven't even been to parts of South Georgia or parts of North Georgia, and there's probably some really neat things here in Georgia, right? Same thing, but Switzerland is so expansive and it's just beautiful. But yeah, so we went to Lucerne and we stayed at an Airbnb about maybe like 10 minutes, I guess, by bus from city center of Lucerne. Downtown little city center of Lucerne was really cute. Not like a super small town, but relative compared to like Zurich. It was really, really cute. Anyways, so we stayed at this Airbnb, and it was just, the bus stop was literally like not even a quarter of a mile from the Airbnb itself. So we just had to walk a little bit. But we went to a restaurant. I'm going to link some in the show notes because I don't have it right in front of me either. I don't have it right in front of me, but it will be in the newsletter. But there's this cute restaurant and had the most amazing ravioli. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And I was starving. I also had only had about 30 minutes of sleep. So on that first day, again, we hit the ground running, took the train to Lucerne, and then we pretty much just dropped our bags and found a hike that was pretty local. It was called Comet or something like that. Comic something. Anyways, so cute. This space was so green. I was just in awe of the greenery, honestly. The grass was so green everywhere in Switzerland. It is so vibrant and rich. So went to this hike and just ventured around. It was so beautiful. We laid in the grass. There were cows with bells, and we were just like, oh my gosh, it was just magical. So we did that, and then we took a train home, changed real quick, and then or back to the Airbnb, changed real quick, and went back out to this restaurant we wanted to go to. It was actually not they weren't I think they had a reservation big party that night, so we decided to go somewhere else that was on our list that one of the girls had researched. So we went to this one. That's where the ravioli was, and it was exceptional. I was so hungry though, I looked at the plate when the guy served it to me, and I was like, this is not enough food. But it was perfect actually. And they brought us little like pea, like not like I guess like split pea soups beforehand, like a little cup of it. So had that before to just kind of like, help the digestive tract. Then had the ravioli, then had some gelato. The wine, we had some wine. We had a glass or two of wine, and that was so good. I will say this, guys, like the wine in Switzerland, we had the house red every night, and I typically get TMI, but like digestive issues from drinking red wine. And in the States here, I usually get even like foreign imports, like wine, not domestic in the States from like, I don't like drinking like California wine, although it's good. I just don't love it. So I try and get like something from Spain or New Zealand or France or Italy. But even still, sometimes I get like really gassy or bloaty or digestive just discomfort. So crazy enough, the wine didn't do that to me. And I literally had 1 to 2 glasses of red wine every single night that we were there. And we were there for 9 days, 8 or 9 days, or 8 or 9 nights. And literally, I was fine. It was crazy. It was crazy. It didn't even give me a buzz. It didn't give me a buzz, didn't give me a hangover, and it didn't give me digestive issues. So I was like, oh my God, so we're moving to Switzerland now. Just kidding. But it gorgeous. But anyway, so we did that, went home. We got up early, like every single day. And when I say early, I mean like between 5:30 and 6:30, we got up every single day, except for one day we did get up at like 7. But regardless, we got up to catch the train or the bus and to go on these hikes so that we could really maximize our time in Switzerland, versus going to like one excursion per day or one hike per day. We like tried to do something in the morning and then tried to do something in the afternoon. There were some times that it may have taken us 2 hours to get there. So, it took up most of the afternoon, and then we went on a hike for a few hours, and then it took us a couple hours to get back. So by that time it was, we may have just like gotten home and explored the city a little bit, or went and grabbed lunch, like a late lunch, and then went to dinner later or something. But all that to say, it was exhausting. So yeah, so we did that. The next day we got up and we went on this hike to Mount Pilatus. I'm assuming I'm probably going to butcher some of the names, but roll with me. So we went to Mount Pilatus and we took a bus to in town. And how you get to Mount Pilatus, or one way you get to Mount Pilatus, you just like walk through this little area in town, and then you get to the gondola ride, and you take the gondola like all the way up. Or you change over a couple of times, but you take the gondola like all the way up. Halfway through, you stop at this area, and you wait for like the last gondola to take you like all the way to the tippy top. And it was so gorgeous. I mean, just the view looking out, there's like the lake and the mountains and the valleys, and then the snow-capped mountains in the background. It was just so, so pretty. So then we took the gondola, we went all the way up Mount Pilatus. It was snow-covered mountain peak and cold. I'm so glad that I wore layers. I was going to bring a winter jacket, like a really heavy down, big like puffer jacket. And actually follower on Instagram reached out. She was like, I'm from Switzerland. Right now you don't really need that. You can bring it, but like you don't need it. It'd be better if you layer it, because it will be warmer in the daytime, but also warmer on the, lower parts of the ground. And so yeah, so I was very grateful that I layered, but I probably look like, a thrift store threw up on me half the time. But we weren't there for fashion, we were there for comfort and function. So that's what we did. But Mount Pilatus was great. Came down the mountain. We actually took the first gondola down till we got to that halfway point, and then we walked the rest of the way. So it was like a 3-mile hike downhill. My Achilles was like, my feet were killing me. By the end of the trip, last few days of the trip, my Achilles in my left foot was actually really pretty sore. So I'm glad that we finished the trip in cities, because we weren't like having to like flex and inflex our feet every single day with hiking up and down hills. We were just mostly walking on flat surfaces. So that was actually quite helpful at the end. But we went to a cute little restaurant, had paninis and another glass of wine. And then that night so this is day 2, technically. We then went to the restaurant we were trying to go to the night before. It was called Grottini or Grottino. Yeah, Grottini 1313. We walked in, it was very rustic. It was so cute. Very rustic. We sit down, we're waiting on them to give us menus, and the guy was like, no, it's family style. The chef prepares like a 5-course meal. It's the same 5-course meal for everyone in the restaurant. And we were like, okay, cool. Like, hopefully we like it. But, it's trusting Italian. It was an Italian meal. Brought us red wine again, so good. Brought us some like salami and bread, and then this like mixed salad and chestnut soup. This chestnut soup was so good. Again, Grottini 1313. So good. It's in Lucerne. And then they brought us some like, steak, as well as a like rigatoni bolognese sauce. It was so good. Y'all, I love pasta. Love pasta. But with that being said, you guys know I have like a interesting digestive system. So with that, I will eat, when I was in Switzerland, I was eating all the pasta, and I would have some bread too. And yes, I have gluten sensitivity, but it wasn't bothering me as much because over here in America, the gluten bothers people because it's so processed. Over there, it doesn't really bother as much because it's not as processed. They don't do the same processing chemical. I don't know what the hell they do over here in the United States, but that's why so many people have gluten sensitivities and allergies and everything, because they do stuff with it. So I did start to kind of feel a little like itchy and like hivey on my face, which was kind of weird. That was new, but not bad, but just a little itchy. So I was just paying attention to it a little bit, but I kept eating all the pasta. It was so good. And then they brought out some type of like pistachio cream, chocolate, Nutella mousse dessert. And I swear to God, I ate it in less than 10 seconds. It was like a pudding, and I just like inhaled it. It was so good. So Grottini 1313, gotta go to. And by this time, it's like 9:30, getting to 10 o'clock. Got to take the bus back. So we're getting to bed by like 11 maybe, and then getting up again at 6 a.m. Or 5:30 or 5 or something. And we were leaving the next day. So I'm trying to think if we got up and went anywhere. Oh, we walked to a cute little cafe that we had gone to the morning before. It's called Nord, like Nord. Went there for breakfast, got some like avocado toast. The girls got some cappuccinos, and I got a smoothie also. And then we got the train, took the bus to Interlaken was our next place, and we stayed at a hotel called the Hotel Royal St. George's M Gallery Interlaken. It's a really long word, really long name. But so stunning. Apparently the building was like the same building. The rooms, they've done some like modifications and renovations, that kind of thing, but this building itself, they hadn't really touched. And this was like maybe like 100-year-old building. It was so elegant, so classic looking on the inside, just very like, I don't know, you just felt like a queen. It felt very elegant on the inside. They were super accommodating. There was a wellness spa there. I didn't see it, but there was a fitness center. There was an indoor and outdoor pool as well. And, we were just so on the go. I probably should have checked out the rest of the hotel, but they had an incredible, like stellar breakfast every morning. I think starting at 6 a.m., like foods from around the world, I felt like, but, freshly cooked breads, to different things that like yogurts, muesli, granola, different cereals. They had a coffee cappuccino machine. They had teas, like different teas that you could make. Then they had eggs and like chicken sausages, turkey sausages, bacon. Then they had all this like kosher food, and, they even had like rice and, eggs, and I don't know, it was just like so many and so much like fresh fruit. The kiwis were so good. So totally enjoyed ourselves in that, having the breakfast. It was great. Some days we had to kind of like shovel it in because we were running late, but it was amazing. The beds, the rooms were they were a really good size. So again, it's called the Hotel Royal St. George's M Gallery in Interlaken. And the beautiful thing about it too, it was only like an 8-minute walk from the bus station or the train station, train bus station. So, and it's super flat. It's kind of right next to the river, and the river was literally like a turquoise teal, like Tiffany blue. It was so pretty. I was like, I've never seen water like this. It was so fabulous. Um, so yeah, so checked into the rooms, the beds were great. We had a little balcony that was overlooking the town of Interlaken, and you could see the mountains in the background. And there was a gentleman named Rudy. He brought us a bottle of champagne, set things up for us, and that was really sweet. I kept joking around, calling him Rudy the cutie because he was cute. Married with children. But super nice guy, and everyone was very accommodating, very welcoming, very helpful for us when we were like, okay, we don't know exactly like which excursion or activity to do on what day. Can you help us decide? They were just super helpful. There is a woman named Matzi who was the manager. She is the one who helped us, set up our reservation and just get acclimated. And she was lovely. So thank you so much, Matzi. I'm giving you a personal shout out. Thank you so much for letting us stay at such a beautiful hotel. Again, it's Hotel Royal St. George's M Gallery, Interlaken. Absolutely stunning. So what were some of the excursions? So in Interlaken, we decided to stay in Interlaken because there were a couple of towns that were recommended or that we researched that were like, probably like 20 to 30 minutes outside of Interlaken each way. And from those towns, there were other hikes that we wanted to do. So one of the towns was Lauterbrunnen. So when we got to Interlaken, we like dropped our bags, checked in, all of that. And then we went to Lauterbrunnen. It was like 20, 30 minutes by the train. And then we spent the afternoon there, I think until like 5 o'clock or something. Then we took the train back to like catch our dinner reservations. But Lauterbrunnen, we pull up and there is a waterfall flowing like right there in town. Like, and from like a high mountain peak, kind of, I don't know if it's a mountain peak, but a cliff. It was so pretty. I was like, oh my God, that's magical. And apparently, which we did get to see, however, there wasn't they weren't super powerful after a while. They lost their mojo, the waterfalls, but they were still flowing. But there was like 6 different waterfalls as you walk along this, like you're in the valley in between these peaks, and it was so beautiful and just the greenest grass. I mean, go look at my Instagram. It was absolutely stunning, so gorgeous. So it was just I loved Lauterbrunnen. And then where we went to had lunch, the waitress told us that there was a waterfall inside of a mountain and like a cave waterfall. So we walked a while to get to that. It's not a while, it's like not off the beaten path, but it's kind of off the beaten path. So we went there, and that was really cool. It really was like you like walk through the mountain and it's like a waterfall running through the inside of the mountain, like a cave. It was super cool, super dope. So that was like one excursion that we were like, that was cool. We were glad that we saw that, and we weren't just walking alongside in the valley, just looking at the waterfalls that were coming off the cliff. That was pretty cool. And the water was rushing. Like I was like, how, where, how, why, how does this happen? I don't even know. Like, I don't understand how nature works. Because it was like, I mean, rushing water coming in from the top of the mountain. I'm like, is there like a river up there at the top of the mountain? Or is the snow melting that fast up there that it's causing it to rush this fast? I don't know. Maybe I'm just extremely ignorant when it comes to these things, but it was powerful and it was really cool. So then we get home, we take the train back, and we walked a lot. My legs were killing me. And again, I was so tired. The jet lag, all of that was kicking in. And then we go in town. We went to Hotel Interlaken for dinner. Literally, it was right across the street from our hotel. Again, the Hotel Royal St. George's Interlaken, or M Gallery Interlaken. And then we went to Hotel Interlaken for dinner. I think it was called like Tavern Restaurant or something, or the Tavern. went there, good meal again. And then we went back to our hotel and had a little nightcap. We had some limoncello. We had a little photo shoot in the lobby with the stairs. It was just super nice. And went to bed, got up the next day, and went to, where did we go? Oh, so the next day, this was one that was actually like a 2-hour train ride. So it was past Lauterbrunnen. It was past Lauterbrunnen. So we took a train 2 hours past it, and it was called like, I'm gonna butcher it, but like Ocean Say, something like that. It was like you get dropped off at this little town, and it's super cute little town. Like, it is a small, small town. And then you walk a little ways up to the gondola, you take the gondola up this hill, and then when you come out, it is like the mountains and the snow, like snow-capped peaks. And they are so massive, and everything is just so green, and the sky was so blue around it. And then we're just like walking, you have to walk maybe like a mile, I guess. And you walk up to this lake that is, again, the most crystal clear, turquoise, teal, blue water. And what was neat is that from eye level, I mean, from eye level, like from ground level, it was just this like crystal blue, very clear. And then when you walk around the lake and you get higher up, because there was a hill, so you go higher up, it actually was that like turquoise color. And it was, I mean, me and the girls had an emotional moment all to ourselves individually, because I mean, I was just sitting there in gratitude. It was absolutely breathtaking. Just kept saying over and over again, like, I'm so grateful that I get to experience this. I'm so grateful that my best friend Liz invited me on this trip. I'm so grateful that, God has blessed me with, a career that has been able to now support some of my dreams, financially, that I have been given these opportunities. I was, I experienced some family challenges, and that was like the biggest thing for me, was just praying and sharing my gratitude for giving me the strength to navigate the challenges that I have endured, and sending love to my family members that are going through some hard times, and just kept saying just this gratitude and praying. And I don't even know how to explain it, but you just felt it. You just felt this presence around you, that there was definitely just this higher power, this magic, this love, this intense, just everything's going to be okay hug. And that was a beautiful thing. It was absolutely beautiful. So that was probably my favorite place, was Ocean Say, or however you say it. Just absolutely stunning. And then we went to lunch. We went to lunch right there. So we were like overlooking the water, and I got meatballs or meatloaf, and it was so good. It was so good. So anyways, got that. And then we went back and had a dinner at our hotel that night. Again, this was like 2 hours away, and we spent a couple hours there. So all that to say, we got home just in time to like get showered, get ready for dinner. And then we went to our hotel, Hotel Royal St. George's M Gallery, Interlaken. They're in, their restaurant, and again, delicious food. It was just great. And we got kind of tired, so we did go to bed after that. But still, it was like 10 o'clock, 10:30 by the time we're going to bed. We wake up again the next morning. We decided to go to this place called Jungfrau Joch. I think that's how you pronounce it. It is apparently the highest point in Europe that you can access. So there are higher peaks in Europe, but they're not accessible. You can't like actually go to the top of them. You can see them, and you can probably hike up as far as you can, but publicly you can't access said hikes. This one you could. So Jungfrau we took a train to Grindelwald. So that was another town that was like 20 minutes outside of, but in the other direction. So we went to Grindelwald and then we took the gondola up and then we had to take a train the rest of the way up to Jungfrau. And you step out and it is just snow. There's so much snow everywhere. Granted, we were like inside of a building, but you could go walk out on the snow, and that was so neat. We were actually running out of time though, because we had to get back because our fourth friend was coming in, and we wanted to get back in time to go meet her at the train station so that we could go do another excursion. Also, it was a very busy day that day, but we made it. It was just absolutely stunning. The snow, I couldn't believe how deep, like you could see, not where we were, but like you could see out at the peak and just kind of where the peak slumps down into the valley, quote unquote. There were like crevices in the snow. And I was like, holy shit, that's like 12 feet crevices in the snow. Like that's how much snow was on these mountains. And I just love snow. I hate being cold, but I love snow. It was just beautiful. So had that experience. Actually, a client of mine had recommended that we go there. So that's why I put that on the list. So again, it'll be in the newsletter. So then we, got back down, met our girlfriend back at the Interlaken train station, walked to she met us at the train station. She had already like dropped her bag and everything at the hotel, met us at the train station. Then we went to this other place called Schneig. I think it was called like Schneigplatz or Schneigplatz, something like that. And we took a little train. It was like 20 minutes to this train station. And then you get on another train. And this train was like wood, rickety train, old train. And it was literally a designated train just to go to Schneigplatz. And we get on there. It was doing like 30 miles per hour. I was like, oh my God, this is going to take us forever to get there. But we did. We made it up the mountain. And we went and had lunch first. There was like a little restaurant there on the hillside, but the view was so gorgeous. I mean, you could see waterfalls in the distance off, in towns, and then lakes and valleys and streams and snow-capped mountains. It was just really gorgeous. Well, then we wanted to hike around Schneigplatz. So we did. We started to like walk around, and I was like, guys, we don't have enough, like, we're not gonna have enough time. We need to like get back so that we can go to our like dinner spot, which is going to be like a sunset overlook. So there was a peak at the Schneigeplatz, and I was like, y'all, instead of going like the long way around, we're going to have to like hike it straight up. And so we all did, like 4 of us hiked it straight up. I have videos, and we're just like, like huffing and buffing. Well, once we got to the top, but it was so worth it. The views were just, I mean, you could see like literally a 360-degree view of pretty much Interlaken, basically, and all the Grindelwald and like all the different areas. It was so stunning. We all had a little photo shoot moment at the top of the mountain, and it was beautiful. So that's another place that you need to go visit. It's very, very beautiful. There was like a storm kind of starting to roll in, or overcast or whatever. So anyways, we get back down, we take the train back down into the town of Interlaken, and we decided to go to Harderklum, which was highly recommended also. And so we went to Harderklum, and it's like a 5-minute walk from the train station in Interlaken, which is like literally like right down from our hotel too. We get on that, and we go up this little tram. It takes us all the way up the mountain to Harderklum, and this place, you're overlooking all of Interlaken and the sun setting. The storm, like I said, was kind of coming in though, so it was like the sky was like on fire. That's what it looked like. It was like bright yellow and orange, and then there was like a rainbow on the other side because it was kind of rainy over here. It was just such a magical experience up there. We had dinner. I think we each got a burger. I mean, we were like so tired at this point because we were literally like, we've hiked all over the place now. We've done all of these excursions, and I'm like, okay, guys, we got to get back. And we did, like 9 o'clock, I guess. We like get back to our hotel, and try to go to bed because we have to get up early in the morning to go to Grindelwald. And are you guys exhausted yet? We go to a place called Grindelwald, but before we do, we go ahead and like pack up our stuff and let the hotel just hold it because we had to check out that day because we were going to Geneva next. So, but we decided to go to Grindelwald and go to the first flyer excursion. There's a couple of other different activities that you can go to at Grindelwald. And Grindelwald is such a cute town. I definitely wish that we had taken like a whole day to spend there because it was really cute actual town. Like I'm sure that there were cute little restaurants and that kind of thing. And there was like a place that you could go hike, and there's a really pretty lake that we did not get to see either, but that's okay. This excursion, there was first flyer, and then there was something called an eagle. The eagle, all four of us like laid down, almost like a Superman looking kind of ride, and it pulled us like a zip line. It pulled us backwards up this hill and then let us go. And when I say let us go, we were still on the zip line. It was actually more freaky going backwards because like gravity is pulling us, and it was just weird going backwards, but it was so fun. And I captured it all on video. It was great. And before that, though, we all did like an individual like zip line thing. And that was the first flyer. We like sit in individual seats, and you just zip line down this hill. And it was so exhilarating and the view was so gorgeous too, because you're seeing like the rolling hills and the green grass and the valleys and the snow-capped peaks. It was absolutely stunning. So definitely got to do that too in Grindelwald. So then after that, we take the train back into Interlaken, go to our hotel. Again, thank you so much to Hotel Royal St. George's M Gallery Interlaken Hotel. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for letting us stay there. It was absolutely magical. And we had the best time. So wrapped up Interlaken, took a train. I think it was 2 hours. I think it was 2-hour train ride, 2 or 3 hour train ride to Geneva. We get to Geneva, and some of the girls were sleeping on the train. Some of us like reading a book, some of us looking out the window, that kind of thing. But I think all of us tried to fall asleep at least a little bit. Went to Geneva. We then checked into our hotel in Geneva. It was called Hotel Les Armures. Again, not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so I'm sorry, but very cute. It was like it was like down this cobblestone. I like Geneva because a lot of the streets were all cobblestone. And so it felt like you were just like in this like ancient time. So cute. So checked into that hotel, beautiful rooms. They were like modern, but there was like this, I don't know, like modern type of like wood, like planks in the room. Almost felt like not cabin, but like that feeling. And then, but it also had like stacked stone in there, and the restrooms, the bathrooms were like really up to date. They were modern, but very like, like gold and brass and just very classic and elegant as well. Really enjoyed that. They left us a little note, some chocolate, some cookies, some berries. And we just, the beds were really comfortable as well. Very spacious. We had a really spacious rooms, both of us, or the 2 bedrooms that we got for us 4 girls. The staff was extremely accommodating. They did have breakfast at the hotel. We did not dine at the hotel for breakfast, just because, again, we were getting up so early and we were just like on the go. And we wanted to like check out other things. So like the next morning we went to a place called Marcel for breakfast and had the most amazing eggs Benedict I've ever had. I put avocado on mine, and the avocado was so ripe. It was so fresh. It was so good. So good. But there's like a little like lobby bar. It was just a really cute, quaint, old, but like modern, rustic hotel. So again, that was Hotel Les Armures. And there is a restaurant on the other side of the building, and it's the restaurant Les Armures. And there was table seating. We went there on our second night, but there's tables outside, but then inside too. And it was so cute. And apparently there was all these pictures on the wall of famous celebrities and that had dined at this restaurant and, had signed their name, thanks for having us. This was incredible, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I think Paul McCartney had gone there. Really neat. Food was excellent. I actually ordered some type of fish dish, perch. And it's so funny because they serve fries with a lot of things. It's like their steak and fries or fish and fries or frites, Frites. But very good. It was so, so tasty and had some wine. I think we all had like espresso martinis as well. The first night in Geneva, let's back it up. So we get checked in and everything, and we just go walk around the town. We had dinner reservations, I think, at 8 o'clock at a place called, now I'm blanking. Again, it's going to be in the notes, but darn, I wish I wasn't blanking on this. It was really good. It was a very good Italian restaurant. Three brothers owned it. We had to walk a ways to this restaurant. But that's, story of our life. When we were in Switzerland, we were walking everywhere. So it's funny because I brought little, like my chunky heels that I've been showing all up on my Instagram that I wear to work every single day. I only wore them in Interlaken and Lucerne, I think, because I was like, there's no way I can walk on these cobblestone streets with these shoes. So, I mean, I could have, but I would have gotten uncomfortable pretty quickly at some point. So I wore sneakers. I wore my little white sneakers pretty much the entire time. Yeah. And they worked great, but this restaurant was so good. I love pasta with like a porcini, like mushroom cream sauce, and that's what they had. Oh my God. I ate it so quickly. It was so good. So good. Yeah, God, that was so good. But anyway, so went there and I had a Negroni, had a glass of wine. I like Negronis. They're like very refreshing. And then we just walked around. We went to this one rooftop hotel bar and we were like, actually, that was the next night. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter when it was, but walked around and then we decided to go. We tried to go somewhere and we're like, no, don't like the vibe. And so we were like, maybe we'll just go home. We're kind of tired. And on our way back, we like saw this cute little place. It was a hotel lobby, a different hotel lobby bar. Went in there and it was decorated very cute and very vibey. So we actually hung out there, had another Negroni. The girls had some drinks too. That was the first night I think we were all kind of a little buzzed, but really had a nice time. Go home, we're tired, get up the next day, and then we decide to we walked to the botanical gardens, which was pretty. It was around the lake in Geneva. And then our concierge she suggested that we go to this one place. It was called Championix or something like that. Championix. I'm totally butchering that pronunciation probably, but so we were going to go there, but it was like a couple of hour train ride and there were only certain trains that would come, you have to go to it was like an hour from when we wanted to go. And then you had to get back, there weren't trains coming back all the time either. So we were just like, that's just going to be more of a hassle to get there. But apparently it's an extremely elite, ski town, ski village. So probably could have seen some really cool, fascinating people watching, that kind of thing. But we decided against that and we took a boat tour around Lake Geneva. And actually I loved that so much because we were just sitting on the top deck. We booked a lot of these excursions through the Jungfrau Railway system. And then also we got a Swiss travel pass, and Swiss travel pass, highly recommend that you use the Swiss travel pass because you can get on, you can do the boats, the buses, and a lot of the excursions and the trains, if not totally for free. I mean, not for free because you're buying the travel pass, but you don't have to pay additional to ride these things. I think a couple of the excursions we had to pay 50%. So definitely helped. Cut costs down, keep costs down. But yeah, so this boat excursion was through the Swiss travel pass. So we were able to get that no additional cost. I mean, obviously if you wanted a drink or something, you had to pay additional for that, but just to go on the tour. And it was a 2-hour tour. So we started and all the houses along the bank were so pretty. They were so big and just so different and eclectic, and some super modern, some really Victorian style. I was obsessed with this one, Victorian style. So pretty. Manicured landscape lawns. It was so pretty. Again, we did like 2 hours and then got back. I think we went to the hotel. We changed, we freshened up. We bought some champagne for our girl's birthday. Went to the hotel restaurant, so Restaurant Les Amores, and had our lovely dinner. And then we went to a rooftop bar called Rooftop 42, I believe is what it was called. And that was like really vibey. That was like the night of Liz's birthday, meaning we were going to ring in her birthday that night. So at midnight, we were like, we'll stay until midnight or like 12:02. We actually left at 12 like 30 because we're old baby grandmas around here and we need our sleep. But we Rooftop 42 was super fun. They're like good music. We were dancing. We were just having a really, really fun time. So that was good. So went back to the hotel though, went to bed, and then the next day we had to like get up and go to Zurich. So we got up around 7, I think, 6 or 7, and just went to the train station, grabbed like a pastry or something for breakfast. I didn't love that part of it, but yeah, got on the train, went to Zurich, and then once we got to Zurich, so again, the Hotel Les Amores, that was a hotel that we stayed at in Geneva. Again, I will put that in the newsletter. And definitely check my Instagram too, because I will tag and I'll have like the geo tag on for a lot of these places, because I'm creating content for it too. So you'll see it there as well. But yeah, you can always like email or DM me and ask me for these recommendations, and I'm happy to like tell you our itinerary. But it was amazing. Hotel was great. Again, like I said, the service, the staff, the concierge, it was all just really great. Yeah, I just really, really enjoyed ourselves. So then we get to Zurich and we stayed in an Airbnb that was like 25 minutes north of like downtown Zurich. A little far out, but it was fine because it actually kind of forced us to like get a train, like a bus back to our Airbnb kind of on the early end because they stopped. Not to say, I don't know if they totally stopped running at a certain point, but like the later it gets, they don't run as frequently, I guess. So we were only there for 2 days, and then like the third day we flew back. But yeah, we're finishing this up now. So Zurich, we get there. It was like a 3-hour train ride from Geneva up to Zurich. We get there, and I'm like blanking on what we did. It was only a few days ago, but felt like a week ago already. What did we do in Zurich? We just walked around the town. Yeah, we walked around the town. Oh, we went to grab lunch. We all were starving when we got there. Went to this cute little place off of Bahnhofstrasse, I think is the name. Bahnhofstrasse apparently is like this long strip road, very like famous, very popular road. It's like where all the shopping is. High end to like lower end shopping. And then there's a handful of restaurants off of that. Really cute restaurant. Well, it's a hotel. It's called like Witter Hotel or Hotel Witter. And then this place called like the Witter Restaurant. So had a really good like chicken Caesar salad. It was very good. And then we went and checked into our Airbnb, came back into town, and yeah, just kind of like hung out, walked around the town, went and got dinner. I'm really blanking on what we did that day. Anyways, the next day we get up and I was like, can we just like sleep in a little bit? But we didn't. We didn't. One of the girls was leaving that day. So we got up and we went to north. Where did we go? And we came back and went to the Lindt Chocolate Factory. Oh, yeah. We went to a place called Rhine Falls. So it's the day before we leave, we go to a place called Rhine Falls. It's like an hour north of our Airbnb, outside of Zurich. And this apparently it's apparently the widest waterfall in Europe. maybe just in Switzerland. Gotta fact check that. But regardless, this thing was pretty massive. It wasn't like a tall waterfall, but just really wide. And the water was just rushing and gushing, and it was very pretty. And we could walk around like one side, and then we like walked up to this little like castle. Don't know the history on the castle, but there was a castle there. And then we could kind of see it from there a little bit too. But really pretty. My friend Liz flossed, you know, that dance, the floss. She flossed on the bridge, crossing the river, just because we thought it was funny and cute. And she really wanted to floss. So she did. But that was really cool. So Rhine Falls, put that on your list. Very neat. There are some restaurants there. We just got there too early. Because I think some of the like actual restaurants, there were eateries that you could get, you know, probably just more like, you know, what you want to call like bar food, quote unquote, but like actual sit down restaurants, they were there, but I don't think they opened till like 11, and we were leaving around like 11:30. Because we had an hour train ride back into the city to go to the Lindt Chocolate Museum, Lindt Chocolate Factory, which was really cool. Definitely, there were a lot of adults there. There were some kids there, but there were a lot of adults there. And I think that that was really neat because it wasn't like totally like all chocolate, meaning it was a museum. So it was a lot of like listening to audios and learning about the history of chocolate and like where it came from and all of that. And that was neat to see where it came from and the progression of the marketing and like the packaging and the branding of various chocolates from Lindt to Nestle. What is it, Calier or something? So it was kind of cool to see all that. And then the last like rooms, you're actually getting to sample the chocolate. That was cool. And different kinds of chocolate. And then you go into the last room and they have all the like wrapped Lindt chocolate that you see probably here in the States too. But there were a couple flavors I'd never had before, like chocolate coconut. That was actually really good. And then they had like a strawberry cheesecake one, but yeah, you could have one of each, and I think there was like 6 or 7, and you just stick your hand in there and just grab and go. But it was super cool. And then there was like a whole cafe where you could order food, you could order drinks, you get some coffees, get different ice creams, desserts, all of that. That was really neat too. And then after all that said and done, we decided to walk from, like, you could take a bus to the train station. And instead of doing that, we decided to walk from the first bus station, from like the Lindt Chocolate Factory to the train station, which was maybe like a couple miles. On our way there, we were walking past this like store, and it said like trois pommes. And so we decided to go in there, and it was like this huge like women's outlet of vintage luxury clothes, purses, bags, shoes. I didn't even get a chance to look at everything because it was massive, and because I found a couple of outfits that I wanted to try on, so I went and tried these on. I wound up buying one of them, and I'm so proud of myself that I didn't let the fear of lack of money and all of that creep in, because I definitely I spend what I probably wouldn't have spent on this. Like in the past, I would have been like, oh my God, that's so expensive. I wouldn't have done that, but I did. And it felt so good. It felt so good because I put the outfit on and I was like, whoa, I feel good. Like, this makes me feel like a fucking rock star. I feel like a celebrity. Like, let's hit the stage, grab me a mic, like, let's do the damn thing. I just felt on one. And the girls were like, oh my God, Kelly, you have to get it. It looks so good. So I will be revealing that outfit at some point in the near future, but gonna keep it a secret for right now, what it looks like and what it is. But it was so cool looking, and definitely just very eccentric and eclectic. So spent like an hour and a half in there, and then we're like, crap, we gotta get back. So yeah, we got back into town, and it was funny because Liz was like, do y'all want to like go back to the Airbnb and like change and shower? Can we just go to like grab dinner like this? Because it was already like 6 o'clock. And I was like, yeah, let's just go like this. And we didn't look like slums. We just had like, you know, I guess loungewear, yoga pants on, that kind of thing. So we went and got some souvenirs, and then we went into Old Town Zurich and had dinner at a restaurant called La Pasta Ristorante. So good. So good. Like, highly, highly recommend putting this on your list as well. If you're in Zurich, go to Old Town, go to La Pasta Ristorante. It was so good. It was this cute, small, like maybe like 15 tables, maybe 20 tables in this restaurant. And you're kind of sitting like on top of people. I mean, like the tables aren't necessarily separated. You're kind of sitting with other people, but it kind of felt separated. The pasta was so good that I had. It was, you could tell it was like handmade, homemade, fresh pasta. Um, it was excellent. Excellent. Again, I got some porcini pasta cream sauce. It was so good. And then we mentioned something to our waiter that it was our friend's birthday. And so 5 seconds later, he comes out with like this sparkled like ice cream dessert, or an ice cream with like a sparkler in it. And the entire restaurant starts clapping and singing happy birthday to Liz and like waving their towels around. It was so cute. And I was just like, this is amazing. I love it. But yeah, La Pasta Ristorante, Old Town Zurich, gotta go. Then we just like, it was raining that night. It was literally the only day that it rained was that last night that we had in Zurich. And it was amazing the rest of the trip. Beautiful weather the rest of the trip. And so we just went in September. It was a little cool on the cooler side, but the week before, I think it was like 80 degrees there. So hit or miss. But yeah, so we got done with that. We went to this like Scottish pub called like Big Ben's Pub. It was literally just like right down this cobblestone street from the restaurant. Had one little drink and then got on the bus and went home. Because we had a long day of travel the next day and everything too, but it was still like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And by the time we got back, because again, it was like 30 minutes to our Airbnb, by the time we went to bed, it was like 11 o'clock, I think, by the time we went to bed. But, of course, we got home and we were like, okay, it's last night. Let's have a little fun. So we created a TikTok little dance and it took us like 15 tries to try and like nail it. And it still wasn't perfect, but who cares about perfection? We had fun doing it. And I think that that's the beautiful thing is like we just had a lot of fun. The whole trip was fun and we had some enriching conversations as well. One of the girls flew back earlier the next morning and then Liz and we got up and like we walked about 2.5 miles, I think, to a breakfast spot. And it was funny because we were like, do you have any eggs? And the woman didn't speak a very great English, but she knew. She was like, no, we don't have any eggs. So we literally had like salami and ham and bologna, I think, and cucumber and bread and jam for breakfast. I was like, all right, fine. One last bread product before I leave here. So it was fulfilling, but it wasn't like I didn't love it because that's not my typical breakfast. But anyways, it was the aesthetic, it was the environment, it was the atmosphere, it was all of that. It was very old, like super small town Switzerland. So it was cool. And then we walked back, got our stuff, and went to the airport, and that was it. And then we flew home. So at a very long travel day, though, we left Zurich at 1:35, had an I think almost 9-hour flight to New York. I had a 4.5-hour layover in New York, so I didn't get home till almost 1 a.m. Georgia time the next day. And I was tired. I was real tired, probably a little grumpy too. But anyways, I wanted to do a Swiss recap podcast. It was just really, really amazing. Again, everything will be in the newsletter. You check out my Instagram, you'll see everything tagged. I'm trying to like do a recap of content on there as well, and get you guys caught up. But if you have specific questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram and I'll definitely be more than happy to provide you some more insights and all of that. So anyways, definitely put Switzerland on your bucket list. Go to all of these places. They're amazing. They're beautiful. They will change your life and change your soul and make you smile from the inside out. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my Goddess Magic course. Check that out. Help you shift your mindset around, transform your beliefs around love, success, and money. And I think that with that, you have more power to do more things in life, step into your power, use your voice, put up boundaries, and just create the life that you crave and go to Switzerland. So I love y'all, sending you love, and yeah, talk soon.